Welcome back. 8 ways a personal trainer is worth it for business owners. So, if you're wondering this, if you're searching online, if you're asking questions of people, you can ask tons of people questions. But really, what it comes down to, what something is worth, is a personal question about your value. So, in this video, I'm going to be discussing 8 benefits of having a coach. Then you can determine for yourself whether in person, remote, or not having a trainer works best for you right now. If it's your first time here, my name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance. I help business owners lose weight and feel their best without crash diets or guilt. I'm also the founder and a mobile personal trainer in Naples, Florida at napleshomefitness.com. So I work in person. I go to people's local gyms and help them out. And I also coach online. So got lots of experience in this and about 24 years in the gym. So I can help you with this video. All right. So when I started lifting way back in the day, I had coaches, upperclassmen, and my dad teaching me how to start. And this was a huge advantage for me because if you don't have this, you can run into things like gym anxiety, not sure about your program, and some of the other 8 tips I'm going to talk about here. And as a business leader, I hire coaches and work with teachers and tutors when I want to learn how to do something. So if I don't know how to do something, I'm not going to try to figure it out on my own. And it's worth considering that for yourself. If you want some guidance on your first steps to take, I've got the Live Aligned scorecard link below. It's a 3-minute quiz. You can find out exactly what to do with the customized, personalized result. So the first thing here to think about how you value time spent researching health topics and or trainers. If you are new to strength training or weight loss or healthy eating, or you don't have like a nutrition education background, or you haven't studied food at all since high school, those kinds of things, you're going to have a harder time getting started because you don't have the fundamental information on programming. So you have to research, you have to look it up, you have to spend time trying to find reputable sites, and hopefully you find them. I mean, you found my page, so that's a good start, right? And then you are going through all that. Or if you are researching trainers, going through that process, that also, and like deciding whether each one is worth it to you, then that is also part of the process. So how you value that time matters. That's going to be a factor in whether a personal trainer is worth it for you. And a popular way to consider this is to think about your hourly rate. How much time would you spend going through all that information versus just paying someone else who has already sorted that out for you? Even in terms of just knowing the knowledge versus making an applied program and transformation for you. I've got another video coming out on that soon, so stay tuned. Two, the second thing to consider is speed and certainty of results and confidence in your program. So if you are surveying forums or you're on Reddit or you are kind of piecing together a health plan for yourself, you might not know how long that's going to take, how applicable it is to you, and then how sure it is to work in the first place. You don't have that confidence in it because you just saw it. You saw it work for someone else and that could help, but it's not really customized for you and you don't know if it'll work and you haven't tried it. So all of that can be something to consider when it comes to considering whether to hire a trainer. Three, safety is a big thing. If you don't have the technique or you are not sure about how hard to train, you have questions about your eating program, what's healthy, what's less healthy, what do you absolutely need in terms of essential vitamins and minerals to consider what you're eating. Safety is a big factor when it comes to your fitness and health. So something to think about when you're trying to decide. Four, your budget, how you make purchasing decisions, how your evaluation of these things and training results fit into all of your purchases and cash flow. Now, this is a big category. There's a lot to think about in this one. So we'll have to take our time one by one. Your budget and how you make purchasing decisions. So when you're deciding if something is worth it, you have to think about how you decide anything is worth anything at all. And then you can assess how you evaluate these things. So when it comes to, I mean, you could look at your budget, your bank statement, or, think about, write down all the things that you buy over the course of a week and determine like how important those things are to you and how they fit into your life. And then compare that to your health budget or your investments in eating, exercise, fitness, health, all that stuff. And then you get a picture of how you are evaluating those things based on how you are investing in them. You can take a deeper look into this in terms of what kind of returns you're getting, um, and how you're spending your money, and then how you're spending your time, what benefits you're getting from it. Like, are you just wasting it basically? So you want to consider your budget and how you make purchasing decisions, how you decide what to buy, and that's going to be a factor in deciding whether a personal trainer is worth it, especially given the context of, the time spent researching and all that stuff. And then also looking at how it fits into all of your purchases and cash flow as well. So the question I would have is, what are you willing to invest in or spend when it comes to anything? If you're buying, I don't know, fancy clothes or spending a lot of money out at bars, how is that comparing to your investments in your health and what you value there? What do you find worth it? It's a question for you to answer that you're not going to find online. You have to think through that on your own. 5, the price and value of the trainer's offer, including how appropriate and clearly communicated it is to your needs. So when you start to look at a coach or a trainer, there's a lot of information that they're trying to convey to you. You want to see if that fits with what you want. They might have several offers. I know I've got a couple. I've got like small group, I've got one-on-one, I've got remote coaching. And so you want to find out like the price of it and the value it has to you, and then how appropriate and clearly communicated it is to you, your needs and what you want specifically. So it's not just about, you can't just price shop. You have to decide the value of the product and how suitable, if it fits your schedule. Like if someone only does something on certain times of the day, but you have dance practice or something at that time, then that's not going to be a good offer for you. Right. So just something to consider. Take a look at these things. And a big question that you should start to consider is, what does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams look like when it comes to this? When it comes to the offer, you want to make sure it fits into what you want and the needs that you have. You don't want to pick someone who's into super restrictive diets if you don't want to do that. Right. But some people thrive from like, hardcore coaching and maybe like a more aggressive approach. My approach is very compassionate, helping you understand yourself, building your self awareness and empowerment over strictly like gym culture. So just understanding that in your decision is going to help. I've got a scorecard. I told you about that. And that'll help you decide what your value, like how you're evaluating your health process and what's valuable for you to take in your next steps. 6, the skills, experience, and wisdom of the trainer. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I just completed a cancer exercise specialist program yesterday. Certified personal trainer, senior fitness, corrective exercise, group fitness, bachelor's in nutrition, master's in medical science, graduate certificate in positive behavior support. So those are just a little bit of my background credentials. Played some international rugby, high school football, did some track, all that stuff. And so like all of that experience and skills from the last like 24 years of weightlifting, I can teach that to you, and the understanding of health coaching. In addition to my experience, 12 years in public health and best practices from helping lots of clients, this is something that you're not going to be able to find with many other coaches, maybe none of them. And this like overall combination of things is unique to me. So you want to consider like each trainer has their own resume, their experience. You want to see how they've helped people and understand that, versus like you have your own experience and it might not be anything related to health coaching. So you're teaching yourself these eating and exercise things without any experience, and that can be very challenging. So something else to consider there, the skills, experience, and wisdom of the trainer. And I'll be glad to help. I don't mean to like, drop my resume on you and flex. I just want you to know that this is something to consider when it comes to, is a trainer worth it? And then especially when it comes to, the research and time spent, I've already spent a lot of time doing it, and you don't have to go out and do that yourself, because that's part of my own skills and experience. All right. 7th tip, the experience of the relationship process and vibe of your partnership. So if you're doing it by yourself, you have to kind of vibe with yourself, it has its benefits. Um, Something to consider when choosing between trainers or choosing if you should hire one or a coach. You want to think about how this person's approach to people, fitness, health, life, how that fits with you, how they communicate with you, how you communicate with each other, how you get your ideas across, if this person is courageous enough to have like a social media presence, all that stuff. Also, the process, my live aligned method, is based on what does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams look like. You want to understand their process and the vibe of the partnership, how you guys work together overall. So sometimes you just don't get along with a trainer or a client. I don't have problems with people, but like sometimes you can run into some challenges with that. You want to be clear about that, set clear expectations, and communicate through them effectively so you get the results that you want. So, something to consider when thinking about hiring a coach. An eighth tip I have for you here: how much support you need in your ability to follow through. So, if you are, some people need nothing really. They just can do it on their own. If you're good at doing research, like you have a background in science or you are really good at reading on the internet and you can get the information, accurate information that helps you, and you just needed to know that, then you're good. Like you don't need any additional guidance or assistance. However, most people they will struggle with confidence, realistic focus, or accountability when it comes to like weight changes, sustainable habit changes, and all that stuff. So if you need that stuff from someone else, then that would be a really good situation to hire a coach or a trainer because they can help guide you through the process, follow up, keep you in practice, so you understand what to do and how it fits into the plan overall, and help you make adjustments if things aren't going well. So, something big to consider how much support you need in your ability to follow through, and that can determine the kind of offer that you buy or whether a trainer is worth it at all. So those are just some things to think about. Let me know in the comments if I left anything out, or your experience with a trainer, coach, if they helped you, if you didn't find them helpful, or if you think I can help you. Let me know. I'd be glad to do it. Comment below if you have questions or if this helps you decide. And then the scorecard is in the description. That's an easy way to get started, to learn more about what you need specifically, based on where you are today. So that's linked below. Subscribe to the channel, and then next you can watch wondering if you need a health coach. What does a health coach do? I break it down even more specifically about what health coaches do. I'll put that right here. So that's today's message. As always, keep practicing. Peace.